Hi everyone, my name is Kameron, and once again, we're back in our book review. And I'm at a different book this time. I was reading Sam Walton. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm almost done. We're like 10 pages away, but I decided like this kind of waste of time. Well, I'm gonna come back after I finish this book or something. But I just feel like I need to read this book while it's added, because this book it kind of specializes in what's going on, but he kind of relates to what's going on right now, since he had to go through an epidemic and stuff. Well, not really a pandemic, but same thing. We're not worrying about other countries. We're mostly affected by the United States. So we're going to go back to Sam Walton eventually, but I haven't done a video in a long time, mostly because I've been like very busy during quarantine. You think you have a lot of time, but you got some things to do in that time. And that time, I've been keeping myself busy with like 3 hours of school grammar, a lot of online trainings, a bunch of reading. And so I started this book. It's called A 4-Hour Workweek. It's kind of what it sounds like, but it's the book isn't explaining. I mean, it kind of is explaining how you get there. The 4-Hour Workweek is like, if you work 4 hours a week, that's kind of like your goal. That's kind of pretty much your dream. That's really what you want. So that's what you want. You want to work 1 hour, like not even 1 hour a day. It's like, if you work 5 days a week, you should also work on the weekends. You will only dedicate just working is like 45 minutes, half an hour. It's not that much. You probably like spend more time in the restroom than you do working. So right here, I was going to tell you what this book is going to include. Then I'm going to jump right into the book. So it's pretty much going to explain how this guy named Tim, I'm pretty sure he's the main character, because I didn't get that far, so there could be a bunch of other characters. So whoever it is, just Tim, I'm pretty sure it's the author, because we're going to his perspective. Well, he worked he earned $40,000 per year. That's better than minimum wage, better than the average American. Actually, it is pretty average. The average is like 44,000, and he worked 80 hours per week. If you work 5 days a week, I mean, that's what a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm. That's 40 hours. Yeah.
That's like, okay, that's like 10 hours. That's like 17 hours per day if you work 5 days a week. Or if you work 7 days a week, you have to work about 11 hours a day. How do you work 10 or 11 hours? Because that's a lot of time. And you get underpaid, so you gotta work smarter, not harder. And this book is going to show you how they pretty much went to pretty much like $40,000 in a month and only working 4 hours a week. So let's jump right in. So there's a lot of introduction that's not really important. It's talking about when it's written and how good the book is. So we're gonna go to where it's actually talking about stuff. So first, it has some things I need to clarify, meaning there's some restrictions, non-restrictions, some things you don't have to go through. One question that you're probably wondering is, do I have to quit or hate my job, and do I have to be a risk taker? Not really. So like, a lot of people hate their jobs because the higher paying the job. That's not exactly how it works. So let's say you have low pay, say there's like 3 levels. 4 levels. Low paying, average paying, kind of high paying, and super high paying. And working a low paying job, I'm pretty sure you like it because you would have chosen a higher paying job, or you just don't have enough experience. If you're working a low paying job, you probably just don't really hate it. I mean, you kind of hate it. But if you're working a high paying job and it's still considered average, meaning you hate it a lot and you're only doing it for the money, if you make a lot of money, that most likely means that you actually love what you're doing. Like, if you see a lot of people, somebody like, Warren Buffett, yeah. I was looking at Sam Walton because, like, Sam Walton looks like Warren Buffett, kind of. Well, if you look at Warren Buffett, I'm pretty sure he likes stocks. And that's why he started at 7. You don't start something you continue the rest of your life at age 7 unless you really like it. So he's kind of passionate about it, and you have to know what you like. So, yeah, you have to take some risk because you can't get anywhere without risk. If you're going to take your first steps, yes, there's a chance that you will fall, but not that as much as jumping off a bridge or something. Now, there's other things like I'm pretty sure you don't know. I like these things. Two of them I don't really understand, but one of them that I'm pretty sure a lot of people ask: do I need to be born rich to get rich? And the answer is no. That's because what's his name again? Tim. No wonder they call him Tim. Timothy. Well, him and his parents. No, just his parents. When he was young, he was not born rich. Both of them combined made no more than $50,000 per year. I mean, that's like less than $25K per. And that's okay back then, but it's not considered born rich. But if you're rich, you do have a slight head start. But it does not matter. It's a head start, but the people who are not born rich, it doesn't mean it's harder on you. It's just you're all the same. So, do I need to be an Ivy League graduate? No. Because, like, you look at all the other people, they're not, who's an example? Somebody like Steve Jobs, I'm pretty sure he did not go to Harvard. Bill Gates, I think he dropped out of Harvard. But a lot of the successful people were not, didn't go to really Ivy League, and they did not graduate at least. So you don't need to get a very good education in order to be able to achieve great things. Now let's get on to the actual story. So the first beginning is, I'm not sure if it's important, but I'm probably just going to get to the point. So I'm going to tell you like where they are right now. They're pretty much like, they're like in some sort of competition. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's like a marathon or something. Because something they practice, it doesn't really matter. It's just the moral of the story that really matters. So, one thing that happened here. Let me skip to something. One small moral is that you don't want to be nervous in what you're doing. It's not really the main point of this story, but it's just something to know. You don't want to be nervous, otherwise you will kind of screw up. Because if you're playing stocks or something and you're nervous, you might just panic, and just don't panic. Just keep it calm. There's something very important here. Oh, okay. So, there was this question that he was asked at one time. It was something like, so what do you do? And apparently he said, I never enjoyed answering his cocktail question because it reflects him to an epidemic that he was once in, and job descriptions and all this crazy stuff. So it's kind of not really PTSD, but he's kind of getting, like, you know, like, what do you work at? And in the back of his head, he's like, man, I got rejected a lot back then. So, he does not really like that question. But he was around the time of epidemic. I'm not sure which one. It doesn't really matter. Probably another virus, swine flu or something. But he answered the question, and he wasn't that proud of it. He said, I'm a drug dealer. I don't think he's saying that he's a doctor. That's just a pharmacist. Like, he's not a doctor. He's like, well, the way he worded it, it sounds like he's a little bit more ghetto-ish, because he used to be a drug dealer, and he kind of turned his life around. So he kind of ended the conversation, because like, hey, what do you do? I'm a drug dealer. And they kind of just back up, and they don't want to talk to you anymore. So I'm gonna get something more important. It said, gold is getting old. The new rich stands for NR. So here's the definition of new rich: the people who abandon their deferred life plan and create luxury lifestyles in the present using the currency of the new rich, time and mobility. And it's called the lifestyle design. Pretty much they get to the new rich place by like going through a life plan called like the lifestyle design. It's kind of complicated, but at least we'll get into what it actually means. So he says that life is hard, and he says people think life is hard, but it really isn't. It's kind of just about your mind. If you think life is easy, okay, people are like, hey, how come good things always happen to him, or bad things always happen to me? It's because you kind of become what you talk about in a way. If someone's Okay, it sounds more positive and good things will kind of happen to them. It's kind of hard, it's really hard to explain, but as if you put your mind to something, you can pretty much do it. If you think life is easy, it's going to be easy. It's not like if I think I'm rich, I'm going to be rich. It's just that if you think you're going to be rich and you take actions that rich people do, then you eventually get to that spot. By the way, it's not really rich because rich is kind of a people don't really like the term rich. Rich people like to be referred to like wealthy because usually rich is sometimes an insult, but people just say wealthy instead. So okay, I'm gonna get something more important. Alright. So what he's saying is that all of this isn't just for like $1 million inside of the bank. It's not just that. It's gonna be like the fantasy. Okay, it says the fantasy is not $1 million in the bank. The fantasy is a lifestyle of complete freedom it supposedly allows. You're not working for the money. You're working for the freedom to do stuff with money and just to be financially free and like have no more worries in a way. $1 million doesn't really mean anything. I mean, it kind of does if you're trying to grow it, but if you work very hard your whole life to get $1 million and it's just sitting there, then there's no point in making it. Now you just have a stack of 1 million sheets of $1 papers. So, your motivation, I mean, if your motivation is $1 million, then sure you could use that. But your true motivation should be you're going after freedom, not just money. And people need to like kind of understand why they're getting money. People just get money and they don't know why. Just money is just valuable. People just like it. Even if they don't know what it is, they just somehow like it. So, alright, let's get something more important. And it says, you have to kind of ask these like work-life questions. Is how do your decisions change if retirement isn't an option? It's kind of big, meaning that you don't have a way out. Retirement is just an easy way out, meaning you don't have to do anything. But what if you can't retire? What will you do if you can't retire? Will you go to another job? If so, then you should probably do that now before it's too late. So, it's just one tough question. I'm not sure how we could answer that yet because I don't exactly have a job yet. So I'm gonna have to look at that in the future. Maybe you could wait till now. Another thing is, what if you could use a mini retirement to sample your deferred lifetime award before working 40 years for it? I mean, like, what would kind of be what are you looking for? Like, before you work 40 years for something, you need to know what you want. You just don't hop in. You need purpose. And, like, during quarantine, I learned that I'm a person of purpose. I don't just do random things. And I've written my journals to talk about this, so that in the future I look back and wow. So, what I mean by I like doing things with purpose, I just don't do random things. Usually, I just do it. If I just say something that people think is random, it really isn't. It's either something to help out or to be funny. And just being funny isn't just that. It has a purpose too. And so, I learned that I could like wake up at 4 every day if I put my mind to it. And I learned I'll only do it if I have a purpose. Like, I don't just wake up at 4 just to say I wake up at 4. I mean, yeah, you can get used to it, but I need a purpose. What am I going to do when I wake up that early? So, my purpose for doing that sometimes is just like getting all my work done, and I'll be done at like 7 o'clock, and the rest of the day I'm pretty much free, except for I have some, of course, day classes to do. But, that's just something what you want. My want, what I'm looking forward to, like my reason for doing waking up early is so that I could have freedom in my day. So, okay, the last question is it really necessary to work like a slave to live like a millionaire? Meaning, would you work like a slave for $1 million, or would you have like your own control? Meaning, like, okay, like our neighbors, they lift weights, and there's a lot of loud stuff going on. So they're getting angry and stuff. So Anyways, let's just not get distracted by that. Meaning, like, are you really going to work like a slave, or would you rather own the slave? Would you be a slave or be the slave owner? That slave is really a harsh term, but that's kind of what you do. When you work for someone, it's not really a slave, but that's kind of what slaves do. They work for another person. So, you gotta get somewhere, you know? So, like, second, think of multiplication. You can't just get 0 multiplied by any number, it's still 0. You gotta add something. You gotta be a slave for, like, a few days, maybe. Just to get a little bit of experience. So once you get, like, your $2, then you can start multiplying. And then you'll finally get somewhere. So, that's just a really important question. Will you work like a slave? And by the way, it's not the answer. Like, you don't want to work like a slave. You could do whatever you want. If working is fun, like, you enjoy art, being the painter instead of hiring the painter, then you could do whatever you want. If it's your passion, you can get somewhere with it. But a lot of people just don't like their job and they'd rather be the boss. So, it says the vast majority of people will never find a job that they will like, which is pretty true because all the fun jobs are very low paying and they're not going to get you anywhere in life. Yeah, it's fun to play games, but it's not going to get me anywhere. So I'm not going to be like a video game designer unless I could sell video games, which I'm just not going to do that since it's just not good. It's kind of rare, but I'm pretty sure the video's getting a little over time, but I'll just say, I was going to talk about a really important acronym. It's called a deal. It's pretty much the deal of making a deal. Is an acronym for the process of becoming a member of the New Rich. I'm going to do that, and I'll save the rest for tomorrow. It's getting late, and I want to work out. So, another thing, make sure you stay healthy. Healthy body means healthy mind. So, here's a step-by-step process. D is for definition, and you pretty much need to understand all the terms. D is not that important. It's still important. You just need to understand the terms of the next 3. The E, A, and the L. E is for elimination, and it has something to do with time and the conservation of time and how, like, what you could do in time. So, E, elimination is just time. Time eliminates, and just be careful for time because it's limited. Time is money. If not, it's more valuable than money. So, people trade money for time to make sure the trade's worth it. So, No, you don't trade money for time, you trade time for money. Because money can't buy time, but time can buy money, meaning that time is more important and you got better things to do. So, A is for automation. It's pretty much automation, like automatic. Cash flow. Cash flow, if you think of a river, it's automatic. And this second term, that's why you have D for definition. It pretty much is this, you need income. It's pretty much what it means. All it means is get income and get a lot of income. It's better to have a lot of flows of income. Like, let's say you're making $1 in total. I mean, it's kind of horrible. Let's say you're making $100 in total. Would you rather get $100 from one source, or would you get $1 from 100 sources? I'd rather have $1 from 100 sources because if I lose one source, I'll still have 99 sources. If you have $100 from one source, if you lose it, then you have nothing left. And that's not just it. Meaning, like, it's harder to grow when you're at the very top. But then again, you might have momentum. But when you're earning $1 per flow, you kind of have like a lot of wiggle room. And so yeah. So just get income. L is for liberation. And it has something to do with mobility. It's a little bit more complicated, but it pretty much has something to do with escaping the boss. Meaning, it's kind of hard to explain, but when it says escaping the boss, it doesn't mean you don't want to be the boss. escaping under the boss means if you're under control of a boss, that means you're working for the boss. Escape the boss and no longer work for someone. You work for yourself. You have others work for you. You want to be the boss. You want to escape the slavery by the boss. You want to be the boss yourself and treat them better and kind of give back, but still make it in a way it's to your advantage slightly. So that's just a very important acronym deal. So great. I think that wraps up today's video. I'm going to go over what I talked about. Hold on. I left a bunch of sticky notes. Like, it's really, you should do that. Oh, I got 3. Okay. You should do this because you could keep where you are, and I think I left off like right here. So what I went through was what's going to be included in this book. Let's see. How a lot of people hate their jobs. You don't need to be born rich. You don't need to be an Ivy League graduate. How the acronym deal and what New Rich is in the lifestyle design, and how this guy relates to what we're going through right now. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be back hopefully very, very soon. And bye for now.